Hello everyone, I welcome every one of you on this video. So today I will be going to teach you, or rather tell you about one of the most significant topic in the Indian polity, that is fundamental right, as you have already seen on this note. So beginning with fundamental right. So fundamental right has the maker of the constitution have derived the inspiration of the fundamental right from USA, Constitution of United States of America, and in which it was the rule of right. And fundamental right is enumerated in the part 3 of the Constitution from Article 12 to 35. So we're going to discuss it in a quick manner. All right. So Article 12 deals with the definition of the state, which is being described in the part 3. Now, what is this state includes, or what does this state or rather it embodies? So a state embodies the government of India and Parliament, government of state and legislature, state legislature, statutory and non-statutory bodies, local bodies, example municipalities, municipal panchayats, district boards, etc. And Article 13, directly going to the Article 13, it deals with the law that is inconsistent with the fundamental right, or that are in derogatory with the fundamental right, are void. And what are these law? These law are the permanent law enacted by the central government through the parliament, and temporary law, which is temporary law are the ordinance which is being issued by the President of India or the state governors. And next is the statutory instruments. Statutory instruments are orders, notifications, and etc. Right. So now directly going into this, we'll see about there are basically 7. Originally in the constitution there were 7 fundamental rights. Those were right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, constitutional, cultural and educational right, right to property, and right to constitutional remedy. So these were the 7 fundamental right which was included in the fundamental right. But right to property was being deleted from the Constitution by the 44th Amendment Act of 1978, right? And it is being made the legal right or the constitutional right, included in the Article 300A of Part 12. Now we will going to talk about the 6 fundamental rights currently in detail. Okay, so let's see the detail. What are the articles which is being provided in this 6 fundamental rights? So beginning with Article 14, which is right to equality. Right now we are going to discuss about the right to equality and what are the provisions included in the right to equality. So see, in the right to equality, Article 14 followed by Article 14, which says equality before law. So Article 14 talks about the equality before law and equal protection of the law. So we must understand that equality before law is derived from the rule of law, okay, which is from the British Constitution, and this is being given by the A.V. Dicey, the British jurist. And rule of law provides the 3 provisions, which is absence of arbitrary power, which means that no person shall be punished except the breach of law. And second is the equality before law and the primacy of the right of individual, which means that the constitution is a result of the rights of the individual, right? So anyways, we're now going to talk about the Article 15 followed by, and which is the provision of discrimination on the certain grounds. Okay, and this state cannot discriminate any citizen on the ground of religion, race, caste, sex, etc. And under this there are 2 provisions given: reservation of the weaker section, backward classes, like reservation of OBCs in educational institution, and reservation of the EWS, economic weaker section, in educational institution. Followed by Article 16, which provides the equal opportunity in the public employment, and Article 17 and 18, abolition of untouchability and abolition of titles respectively. Okay, now we're going to talk about the right to freedom. As said in the fundamental right to freedom, Article 19. Right to freedom includes Article 19 basically guarantees to a citizen this 6 rights. Those are right to freedom of speech and expression, right to assemble peacefully and without arms, form associations, union, cooperatives, move throughout the territory of India, reside and settle in any part of India, and practice any profession or occupation, trade or businesses. So these are the 6 rights which is being protected under Article 19, followed by Article 20, protection in respect of conviction. Article 21, protection of life and personal liberty, and Article 21A, right to education, and Article 22, protection against arrest and detention. All right, and now right against exploitation. Right against exploitation talks about Article 23, which is the prohibition of traffic of human being and the forced labor. All right, and Article 24, prohibition of the employment of the children in the factories, which is prohibited. So now, since I am talking to you this in a very synopsis manner, because since this is a revision for the prelims, so because of which such notes has been created accordingly. Now, about next is the right to freedom of religion. So when we talk about the right to freedom of religion, there are basically 4 provisions given under it. Number 1, Article 25, freedom of conscience and free profession, practice and propagation of the religion. Second, freedom of manage the religious affairs. The Article 27, freedom from the taxation for the promotion of the religion. And Article 28, which is freedom from the attending religious instruction, which means that a person or the citizen is free from following the religious instruction. Next is the cultural education right. There are 2 provisions under it. Number 1, protection of the interests of the minorities. Though minorities means those are STs, SCs, OBCs, EWS, right? And Article 30, right of minorities to establish and administer educational institution, right? Next is the right to constitutional remedy. And now talking about this is the last fundamental right, and a right to constitutional remedy is under Article 32, which provides right to remedy for the enforcement of the fundamental right of an aggrieved citizen. Now, according to the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, he says that Article 32 is the most important article in the Constitution, and this is so because it cannot be abridged or taken away even by the way of the amendment of the Constitution. So because of which it takes the status of being most significant article in the Constitution. Next, for the enforcements, as Article 32 talks about enforcements of the fundamental right of an aggrieved citizen, but what are the instrument or the measures required for the enforcement? There are basically 3 measures which can be issued by the Supreme Court or the High Court. Those are direction, order and writs. So as I was talking about the writs, so there are 5 writs, that is habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari and quo warranto. We'll talk about this now. Habeas corpus literally means to have the body of, and it issued by the court to the public officials or the person who has detained another person to produce the body before it. Mandamus. Next is mandamus. Mandamus literally means to command, and it is issued by the court to the public officials to perform the duty. Either they have refused to perform so, or they have not performed. And next is prohibition. Prohibition is to forbid, and it is issued by the higher court to the lower court to prevent from exceeding the jurisdictions which they do not possess. And next is certiorari. Certiorari means to be certified or to be notified, and it is issued by the higher court to the lower court to transfer the pending cases, to the letter, by the letter to them. And last is the quo warranto. Quo warranto literally means to by what authority or warrant, and it is issued by the court to the public office to inquire into the legality of the claim. So these are the 5 writs that are issued by the court for the enforcements of the fundamental rights under Article 32. Now, talking about these 3 articles, Article 33, 34 and 35. These are the almost a very significant articles. So Article 33, it empowers the Parliament to restrict or abrogate the fundamental rights from the member of the military, paramilitary, police, armed, etc. And Article 34 provides the restriction of the fundamental right the military, while the martial law or the military rule is in force in any part of the India. And Article 35, it provides power to the Parliament to make laws to give effect to certain specified fundamental rights. So these are the fundamental rights. I hope this topic is clear to you. Thank you very much, and keep revising. Thank you very much.